We begin today's program up on Capitol Hill. We're pleased to be joined by Senator Bernie Sanders, independent senator of Vermont. And there's a lot to talk about the budget. I want to start, though, with a proposal that you just put out there that would expand Medicare for all, a single-payer health care system that you want to introduce today in the Congress. Tell me why you think there's an appetite for this. We saw the big debate that tore the country almost in half just last year.
Here's the reason. I mean, I think you have to have a vision. And the vision for this country should be we've got to join the rest of the industrialized world where virtually every other country guarantees health care to all of their people as a right, and yet ends up spending in other countries far less per capita than we do. In America today, you got 50 million people who have no health insurance at all. You have millions more who have high deductibles, high co-payments, and yet we are spending a huge amount of our GDP on health care, and that cost is going to be going up every single year. So we got a system that just is not working. 45,000 Americans will die this year because they don't get to a doctor when they should. So you got huge numbers of people uninsured, costs are soaring. Clearly we can do a lot better.
But Senator, we're in the midst of implementing a new system. Are you prepared to say that this new system put in place, passed by the Congress last year, is already a failure?
No, I'm not. I voted for that system. That system does a lot of very good things, including adding 32 million more Americans to Medicaid, to getting insurance. Yet after that, you're going to have 23 million Americans still without insurance, and the cost-effective remedies, the way to control costs, are not as strong as they should be. What this legislation does, by the way, is give states the option to build on health care reform and go forward for a universal single-payer system, which I think can demonstrate to other states, if Vermont goes first, that that is the way to go.
Senator, I want to ask you about the Speaker of the House last night saying that, that there needs to be cuts that match any increase in the debt limit. We could be talking about $2 trillion in budget cuts. Is that possible? He's taking taxes off the table. Is it actually possible, in your view, to cut that deeply?
First of all, at a time when the wealthiest people in this country have never had it so good, the top 1% are seeing a huge increase in their income. They now earn 23 cents of every dollar in this country, more than the bottom 50%. The idea of not asking for shared sacrifice, the idea of saying the only way we're going to go to deficit reduction is by cutting Medicaid, cutting Medicare, cutting education, cutting infrastructure. But we're not going to ask billionaires who are doing phenomenally well, who have seen their tax rates go down, we're not going to ask them to pay 1 penny more in taxes. That is laughable, that's absurd, and the vast majority of the American people do not support that approach.
Senator, how did you vote on the debt ceiling in 2006?
That is a very good question. I have voted against raising the debt ceiling, but with the understanding that you can cast a protest vote. I have done that. I don't remember what I did in 2006. You can do that, but you do that with the understanding that, opposition parties do it. But at the end of the day, you are not going to allow a situation to arise where, for the first time in the history of America, we do not pay our debt. So I think traditionally what you've seen, a lot of people, including myself, have voted against it. But in reality, there is the understanding, the compact has been worked out, that it is going to pass. The idea that the Republicans may be very serious, or maybe not, we don't know, in killing the raising of the debt ceiling, which would cause financial chaos throughout the world, that's, I think, a new step forward.
But I want to ask you this specifically about tying it to budget cuts. Why not? Why shouldn't the Republicans be able to say that then? If there's been this history of protest votes in the past, why shouldn't they be able to say, look, we'll give you the debt limit, but we want to cut the budget?
You can say whatever you want to say, but there are two separate things. Number one, do you want to endanger, literally endanger, the world's financial system, maybe bring about a world depression? Nobody really knows. Certainly raise interest rates. Is that really what you want to do? Or do you want to have the argument about the budget, which is a legitimate argument? People have different points of view. There is a process to do that. We are going to be looking at the budget. And the Republicans have their ideas, I have mine, Democrats have their ideas. But to endanger the well-being of the modest economic recovery that we're seeing, raising interest rates, perhaps bringing the world's financial system into chaos, and really going forward on that, that really is another step. Now, to answering your question about these spending, huge spending cuts, to decimate Medicaid when we have already 50 million people without health insurance, to bring Medicare into a voucher program, to cut back substantially on education when millions of families cannot afford to send their kids to college, and not ask millionaires and billionaires to pay 1 cent more in taxes is literally laughable. It is laughable. It ain't going to happen. It should not happen.
Hey, Senator, we only have about 20 seconds left, but I wanted to ask you about a subject near and dear to you, the Made in America project, and your effort to get Made in America souvenirs at the Smithsonian Museum. They promised you they would do it. Do you have an update for us? Is it happening? Has there been any progress yet?
Yeah, I did talk to these guys a few weeks ago. They said that they're on schedule in moving forward in that direction. I think it is wrong that a wonderful institution like the Smithsonian, which is one of the things we're very proud of in the United States of America, is selling so many products in their gift shops made in China and other countries. They have promised me, and I think are moving in the direction of having a lot more American products for sale there.
All right, great. Senator Bernie Sanders, thanks a lot for joining us on Top Line. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Nice to be with you.